Welcome back to the Feathered family. I can't believe we are already on video 3 of the weekly vlogs. Last week was a little slow on the production side, but that's okay because we're getting the office in order and all organized. I'm very excited. I have the good to go for crocheting, so you're gonna see a lot more of that here shortly. Currently, I am finishing up editing last week's video and I'm hoping to post that later today. If not today, then tomorrow. And I am also about to get dinner on the grill. I've also already started making another chicken purse. I've made a couple before, but I can't find that yarn anymore, so I have to try a new yarn. So hopefully it turns out okay. You good, girlfriend? The feathers are flying. Happy Wednesday. I just got home from work. We have a lot to get done today. So let's go change and get started. All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys and show you what we're kind of working with right now. So all of this needs to find a home.
Good stuff. We got some cartoonish donuts.
Happy Thursday. Last night I was working on the chicken purse. This is how far I got. I got the entire body done except for the features on the head. So that is probably what I'm going to finish up later today. For this one, I did extend the width in between the two panels. So I hope that the distance between the head will still end up being all right. I think for the next one, I could probably do single crochets right here instead of doing the double crochets just right here by the head so that it sits a little closer together without having that piece right there. But I also think that I can make it work the way it is and still have it look great. So there's the body, and then I also did the strap. So like I said, I'm hoping to get that done a little bit later, but for now I am on my lunch. I am staying at home today for my lunch for once, because instead of going to Joann's and buying more stuff, I need to unload the stuff that is in my truck from Joann's. I know what you all must be thinking. I'm crazy. And as much as that is probably true, we're also saving a ton of money. All of this is pretty much from the past 2 days. A little bit is from last week. So a whole nother big haul. But let me say that I was not planning on getting more fabric after I got all of this. All of this was 60% off, and I was not planning on getting more, but then they did a deal of if you buy what's left on the bolt, you get an extra 50% off. So most of this was 60% off, and the flannels were 80% off. And then I bought the bolt, so that means that however many yards was remaining on there was 60% off or 80% off, and then a whole nother 50% off. The only one that I bought a full bolt of is the interfacing. This is SF101 Shape Flex by Pellin. I don't know if I just said that right. If I show every single fabric individually, that's going to be a lot of editing. So I think after I show you the things that aren't fabric, I will do a different clip of all the fabrics. So I needed a decent amount of storage, like little storage baskets. So I got this set, which has a bunch of them. And then I already took the big one off of there. So I got those, and then I got 2 packs of these, which these are pretty cool because they slide together and lock. So that's pretty neat. Beads. 2 of these tally counters, 1 embroidery hoop frame and a heart, yarn zip, some bias tape, this mug. I'm not normally a mug person to like see it and buy it, but this one I figured I would probably get to put on the desk. So I thought that was pretty cute to just have on the desk for pens or something. So I saw these and I thought they were pretty cool. I really have no idea what they're actually supposed to be used for. It says magnetically secures to your fabric and holds your needle. So just from reading that, I'm assuming when you're working on a project, you like magnet it to it and then it holds your needle if you have to like walk away. But what I actually found these are really good for is to quickly secure fabric before you run it through a sewing machine instead of using the clips or needles. That's all the instructions you get. So I got 3 of these pet birthday mini charm squares. Don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet. Maybe I'll make Zoe a little quilt. Got some sticky notes, a granny life patch, a granny life sticker. I got 6 of these tubs. Just a bin. For what? I don't know. 2 of the Burn It Blanket Extra in mushroom. Some beads. Roll-ups. I'm hopping on the jelly roll rug trend. So I got a bunch of these. They were normally $55.99, but I got them for $12 each. So that was a pretty good deal if I say so myself. They're not patterns. I got one that's a pattern from my local fabric shop, which I think are super cute. This one was $35. So they are expensive. I say expensive because that's a lot of money to put into a project up front, and then you have the batting strips that go in it and then all the time. So these will actually end up being very expensive projects. But I'm hopping on the trend train, so I ended up getting some since they were $12. Burn It Blanket patchwork fabric. I don't know if this is a good sewing tip or not, but this is what I do. I use one color. One single color for pretty much every single thing I make. This is a gray color. And with the gray, it pretty much blends in to any colored fabric that you could ever use. Instead of trying to do a whole bunch of different bobbins and switch the thread and rethread the machine and rethread the bobbin and blah, 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 blah. It's all already done because I'm using one color. Some people could probably frown upon that, but I don't care. That's what works for me, and it works really well. Quite time saving. So I went to a different Joann's for the first time in like 5 years on Tuesday, with my mom. She had been to that one before, since the closing sale had happened. I hadn't been there since the closing sale started. And she had saw this pillow. She really liked it, but she didn't want to pay $50 for it. $50 is a ridiculous amount for a decorative pillow, in my opinion. So I completely agree with her that she didn't want to buy it. But when we went, she saw it and it was 70% off. So she got it for like $15 or something, and it was the last one. And I had never seen this pillow before, so I was jealous. And then yesterday I went to my local Joann's and they had 3 of them. They only had them at 60% off, so I still paid $20 for it. But I kind of had to stop and think, like, if I wait for it to be 70% off just to save $5 more, but then they're all gone before I can get to them, I will be pretty mad. So I paid the $20 and I got myself the bird pillow. Some Burn It Softy Baby. Funny story about the Softy Baby. I bought like 6 of these in purple, thinking that they would be a different feel. That's why I don't like buying yarn online. So I did a pickup order, went and picked it up, and then I was like, okay, I'll just go and return them. I found something else better while I was there. But before I could go to return them, they announced they were closing, and then they announced all sales are final. So now I was stuck with 6 of these, and I was like, well, here's 2 more. Yarn was 60% off. So I was like, well, I'll just get brown. I mean, it's a nice yarn. It's just not my favorite. I wouldn't necessarily want to use this all the time, but it does turn out really nice. 5 of these. I love the Kubu. It's not a fan favorite. In the yarn reviews that I've seen about it, people have not rated it very high just because of the string splitting, and I completely understand what those reviews are talking about. I have used it. It just ends up so soft and kind of like silky. It is 51% cotton, 49% rayon from Bamboo, so that's what makes it just so soft and nice, and I love it. It's super small. It's a smaller weight. It's a 3, so it's a lightweight. I don't recommend it to beginners, but for someone that wants to make some nice flowy quality like shirts, pants, cardigan, like any of that, even especially for the summer, this is so nice. So other than me panning over the yarn in another video after this, I did get this ginormous thing of the polyfill batting stuff, but as you can see, this has filled up a lot. Not all of it is from Joann's, because I do have that amazing local fabric shop. It is called Piece and Thread Designs. It is located in Jackson, Michigan. The owners are amazing. That is actually where I am currently selling some of my crochet, as well as it being on my website. So if you are in Michigan and want to make the drive to a really cool fabric shop, then make the drive to Piece and Thread Designs in Jackson, Michigan. It's not a ginormous store, but they also have a ton of stuff packed into their store. It's considered like a quilting shop, but obviously fabric can be used for whatever, and they don't just have fabric. They have rulers and patterns and bag stabilizers. They have the jelly roll strips. They have the jelly roll strip batting. They just have a great variety of essentials for the average sewer.
I also got one of their hook displays, which I am super glad that I did because that looks awesome.
I am making an Italian sub for dinner, so I figured it was time to bust out the homemade banana peppers. They look a little weird because I just shook them up, but I canned these last year on August 15th. They are banana peppers grown from my garden. I have never canned banana peppers before, so let's see how I did. I don't have a better way of doing this. Maybe we won't be having banana peppers from my garden. I don't know what it's supposed to smell like. Well, this is really disappointing. I will not be eating the banana peppers that I made last year because when I opened them, they had that initial weird kind of gross smell, which can sometimes be normal, but they're also super, super soft, which they aren't supposed to be. They're still supposed to be like crisp. And the liquid is very thick, and I also don't know if that was supposed to happen either. So since it was my first time, I'm gonna do some research to figure out what happened, and hopefully I will be able to do it better this year. But I will be eating some homemade canned peaches that I canned August 11th last year. These are really good. They smell fresh and sweet. That is perfect. Back to dinner. Happy Friday evening. I finished the jelly roll strips, and now I think I'm going to lay them out, figure out how long I want it and the shape that I want it, and then I think I might get started on that just a little bit, and then I got a couple other things I need to do. Happy Saturday. I have been up doing a few different things this morning. One of the things we did was make a braided fleece blanket. We have family coming up to Michigan during this Memorial Day weekend, and Brendan's brother just had a kid, so we made him a braided fleece blanket. We didn't make it a baby size just for the fact of the baby being able to use it throughout being a kid and everything. I still have the braided blanket that my aunt made me when I was really, really little, and I still use it to this day. So we made it a little bit bigger just so they can use it longer. Another thing that I was working on are these wallets. I'm gonna make this a little shorter on the next one, but they do have a clasp, and then they have 3 pockets. So those are pretty cool. I'm working on another one right now, and it's going to be this print, which I think is super pretty. I love pink. Another thing that I want to get done this morning is take a picture of all the pens and get some of them posted, and I think I might run some of them over to the store. I also would like to get the chicken purse finished and over to the store as well. Happy Sunday. The days are flying by at this point. I cannot believe it's already Sunday. Like I said before, we do have family in town this weekend, so I did not get much done today. I did get to work on these, so I actually ended up making a strap to go along with it. And I also switched from the snap clasp to Velcro. It may seem like an odd switch, but for this type of wallet, this snap clasp just seems a little heavy duty for what this is. It's just a small little wallet keychain wristlet, and these take forever to sew in, which normally not a big deal, but these take not a super long time to make, so it felt like the longest part of all of it was hand sewing this clasp in. And I didn't really like the clasp to begin with. It's just, like I said, it seems a little bit heavy duty for this type of wallet, and I think the Velcro just suits this type of wallet better. So there's that. Super cute. I love these. I think these will be a good seller. So cute. Other than that, not much going on. We did have quite a busy week with a lot of different things going on. I am going to finally get some of the pens uploaded on the website, I think, here soon. But right now my main focus is actually going to be editing this video to get it posted, since today is Sunday. So with that being said, I really appreciate the few of you that do watch my YouTube videos. It takes quite a long time to actually gain some traction here on YouTube, so any support is great and I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also be sure to tap that subscribe button and also tap that bell so you stay notified every single time we post. If you have any video suggestions or questions, be sure to drop those down in the comments below. And with that, we'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!